Welcome back to Tech Artist 41. Hopefully those who have joined me. I did start it earlier just so that people can at least know that I'm streaming today. But multiple different things. I'm going to adjust this. There we go. So, yeah, the thing is, I can't even find these sketchbooks anymore. These are 9x12. Well, 5x12. I do like these sketchbooks because I can easily do stuff like this. Yes, this is my Chain by Fate, by the way. Alright, let's get back to it. I'm going to sketch a few ideas. Not these, but a little bit of diaphragm. Still working on the pronunciations of everything. Che, patamo. Yeah. Alright. That's everything's just another project, but let's start. Let's begin. Yeah, I can't really move that. Alright, let's zoom in a little bit. Or a lot of it. There we go. So with any character, I just start out with a sketch. Really just trying to get. So let's see, let's see. Tiro teretrolon balarakteron. Testirot vectera. Menictora testin. Tinora vectonoresh tiromament. I think that's a lot of tirum. Sorry. Whoops, a little bit too close. There we go. Yeah, whenever I'm by myself, I do talk diaphragm, and that's one of the languages that's just built in to me. So let's see the plan. There we go. Always good to have everything sort of out there. Pages, enter, text moments, cursed witch. Let's go over here. Ilati Nur, the cursed witch. One day upon a full moon rising, an incident occurred and took place. Teotek diet is strut. Yes, I'm slightly just drawing the storyboard for Chain by Fate. So, blood moon. See. Upon one day, a full moon rising, an incident took place. Every witch around the world was cursed with the horrors of unable to control their magic and attacking their loved ones. So, I will need basically some form of a little bit. A little bit So that's rising blood moon. Let's see, simple. Yes, this is basically just part of the sample. Upon one day, the full moon rising, an incident took place. Every witch around the world was cursed with the horrors, unable to control their magic and attacking their loved ones. Let's actually start the story. So, witches have existed since the beginning of humanity, alongside mages, alchemists. So, I really do want to draw witches with hats, but hats are more of a style choice for witches. Not every witch wears a hat. And basic powers. We do need to address the Savili's dream, basically. So, which is along with mages, alchemists. Yeah. I'll have to look up a little bit more on that, but we're actually just going towards the story, so let's see. And we're going with, this one is Savali female, and I will need to draw that in everything, but you know. Yeah. This is basically the story I'm going off of, so yeah. Keep that off to the side. There we go. So let's see, basis for her hair. Yeah, I'm not talking much, but there we go. Just trying to get a basic idea of what to do. We're going off of a similar thing of witches and all that stuff. Unlike all things and witches and everything else, my witches will be unique. And this is all for the comic that I'm trying to create too. So might need to adjust that, but yeah. For the most part. And then the symbol on the cheek. And why am I doing witches? Someone would probably guess and say, I don't know. Maybe he likes witches and all that. That's one possibility, but the real reason is it's just a story that came to me. That's really all that it is to me. And it's right there. Yeah. I'll need to adjust that, but do need to get her lips. So, let's see, Villati female. Let's go over to the tablet display. So here's blue. New. I just make it 5x7 because it's easier to deal with. Alright, so let's start drawing on here. And yes, I tend to start from scratch. Oops. Not exactly what I wanted. Brush. Come on. There we go. There. Alright. And yes, I do the same thing. Take my reference, bring it to the side of my screen. Sorry, my nose is still bothering me. But it's much better. Alright, so let's see. Bring it in. So then we bring in the hair. So we're going to do a little bit of a swoosh. And it's not going to be exactly the same. It never truly is. So we'll do this. And then right there. Deal with slight parallax. Draw the general shape. Yeah, sorry, my pen, every time I deal with any sort of electronics, my tends to overreact a little bit. So let's see. Demon, Dragonkin, all that. I don't know if I want to go black and white on this or just leave it, well, leave it black and white or go color. And I do like these eyes. So if I go to, let's move this along here. Oops, wrong thing. Come on, respond. So, what I'm doing on the eyes is a little bit of a different look that I'm trying. Oops, wrong thing. Alright. I'm gonna drag you a little bit further. There we go. And right there. She looks a lot sharper. Well, I am trying to make her a little bit more villainous, so everything's part of the process of redrawing and then drawing again, all that stuff. And then come back with this, and we work on the symbol. Every part of what I'm doing is just a sketch, but even my sketches turn out the way I intend, in some way or not, but sometimes it's just freehand drawing. So that goes down there, this goes like this. That's better. A little bit more on the emphasis. A little bit more spacing up here too. That, then that. And there we go. And then on the cheek, we go like this. No, a little bit too much of a swing. Still too much. Erase a little bit. There we go. A little bit closer to actually match the symbol. Every witch has their own design, but the thing is, they don't choose their design when they're born. It just so happens that they have it on them later in life. There we go. That's better. That looks more correct. There we go. And then we go with here. So, Velati female. We'll adjust the sketch in a second, but I'm going to turn this into Velati male. And the thing is, he, she, whatever people call it, witches, if they live long enough, they can actually change genders, so. Mostly witches live only about 2,000 years in this story, so. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting story, by the way. I'm still writing it. Like the other one. There we go. Okay. Like the other one, it's going to have a lot of twists and turns upon that. Come on. Work with me here. Alright. But they can change races, but that's more of a normal thing for anybody. Okay. Let's see. No swooshes or anything like that. But what they can't change is their mark. So their mark is something that just doesn't change on them. We're working on a different person slightly. So let's see. Okay. Yeah, all my characters are slightly changing towards slight feminization, but not quite. It's gonna be very difficult to tell what is male and what's female in some of my things. Okay. Come on. Yeah. These programs, they never really work out quite well. Not the way I want them to. And then let's see, a little bit out of focus there. Right there. Right there. And then right there. But with any sort of brushwork and all that stuff. There we go. There we are. Sharp, but not really too sharp of an eye. Keeping in the same look as the previous part. These are more of just sketches of the story before the story is even implemented or drawn or anything like that. And I've been wanting to work on multiple different stories. It's just I sort of get sidetracked on what exactly I want. So, and unlike a lot of witches, they don't have multiple marks as much. And then thing is about their curse does change when they do change their bodies. Yes. So with every different type of curse, there's multiple different types. But the curse will change on your body as you do change forms. It's just part of it. I'm not going to write down the curse because it takes a little bit of time to actually write that in. More feminized than male, but hey. Let's see. No. Let me adjust both ears. And I will most likely adjust it to look more... Well, no, I really won't. Because some people's faces are just ingrained in what they are. I can't adjust it on that, so... There we go. Ears are just going to be slightly off. Yep, and then the curse. Let's put her back at 100%. So for the fill, and with curses, they sometimes look like branches all over the body. But every witch in one way or another is slightly cursed. That's mostly why they have the mark. But it also says that the more you have, the more magical power you have, too. That's why, as you grow, you do get more and more magical power. But, alright, so that's the basis of that one. That's the basis for that one. This is the same person. I'm just showing different stages of that particular person. Let's get down to there and redraw. If anybody does have any questions, you can always ask it in the chat or while I'm drawing or anything like that. But before all this, I was working on one of my paintings. And yes, to put it out clearly and faithfully, I survive off of crypto. Just barely, but I do survive. It's what's been keeping me alive for these last couple of months, anyway. It's all about managing your budget and how you do that. I'm just someone who lives slightly on the edge for certain things. Don't try to. That's just what happens. There we go, there's that. And I do draw women a lot better than I do draw men. Theoretically. Mostly because I see women around more. Well, I've seen a lot more women around more in my life than. And I really haven't practice of drawing too many men either. It's not something I plan to do, but okay. The thing is, I don't mind doing what I'm doing. I do try to conform with everything, but what such thing is conform to me, really? Okay. Yes. Branches might change just slightly. There we go. But if a witch is too powerful, there are consequences with it in this story. Come on. There we go. I'm just not going to lay down those consequences just yet, because it's part of the future part of the story in the first place. And take out the second part. She looks gorgeous. Yes. Lovely. Okay. Get rid of that. Come on. Stop that. Well, can you really blame me on this? And yes, I will be doing this more often. 3 times a week. Well, not 3 times a week. 2 times a week at most. But it's every 3 days I'll be streaming. She's one of the more important characters, so I'm just dealing with. Actually, I kind of like the Ben ear, but let's take that out real quick. So we got that, we got that, we got that. So let's see, let's erase some of this. Erase some of this and this. And we drop it down here. Erase that. Erase this. That. Get rid of that. And yes, I will most likely colorize all of this. Okay, that's the female form. How to do the male form? Yes, it looks more like me than anything else. Well, what I see myself as. And at the top. Take this out. Gonna have to add the eyebrows. I know I've lost most of my audience, but hey. It's kind of hard to get an audience when you do it, well, anytime that anything is done to shorthand. But you get what you get. Analytics and all that stuff. No views today, but it is a Saturday. People get together on Saturdays too. Actually, it is that small. There we go. come on. And yes, I could just retrace this, but where's the fun in that? A little better. Put the ear on this side. And the ear on this side. It's a little bit hanging low. There we go. Well, sometimes you kind of just have to edit where everything's at, just slightly move it, and you don't have to draw it. Because it wouldn't look good if you did. A lot of people just have different types of ears. Okay. Good enough. Oops. This was the last time she saw him. So, now to write down the curses for, well, yeah, mostly curses. So, let's see. Yep. This is bugging me a little bit. Let me look at the original that I have right here. Det låter rätt inte sikte. Can you still shed your soul? I'll have to change the font really. I'm not going to write this in every single one. It'll most likely just be scribbles in the sand. For a lot of this. But there has to be some sort of delineation in this one though, because this is going to be just a static image on this one. I'm not going to ever write this again because it's a pain to even think of writing all this. There we go. It's a little bit of it. This needs to be a little bit more. But yeah. You get the idea on that one. I'm still looking on. Let's do her. Because this one's going to be a little bit different. Mostly because this is the tale of every aspect of their lives to this point. If they change forms, it adds their life story on there, as well as their curses. Sorry, yes. So it's that. It's more of just changing the language just slightly. Changes the meaning entirely. There we go. And do that. There we go. Yep. the Kleisi language, not Difran exactly, even though you can use them interchangeably. It's a lot different in writing. It's a lot more loops and all that stuff. No, that's wrong. Right here should be this. There is some difrane in there, but it's not all difrane. That's difrane, but oops. Don't mean to go that far. Right there, yeah. Come on. There we go. Still no. There we go. And yeah, I'm trying to write many things on all that. Current views, stream settings. Excellent. Yeah. Just no views. That's fine. Alright. Take this out though. There we go. Yeah. Leo say, Pektanane stoidrare tirane tiron. Ekino tebreo. Ekinche. Fitrode. No, that doesn't look right. That's right. There we go. And this is more of just part of the character design. When I do make the comic, it will not have a lot of this. This is just part of the story, though. Yeah, I just have to do that. There we go. change some of the stuff around though. With that, these with that. Oops. Come on. And these need to be changed with that. This right here with that. This with that. Most of that's correct. This right here needs to change though. Come on. There we go. Okay. Okay. This one's a little bit different. Okay. Yeah, that's it. It's more of the effect of what it's gonna actually show on all of this. I'm not redrawing this though. No, that's not right. And there. There we go. No, sorry. Too thick. Is this? Yeah, that's all the way good. Okay. Me writing this down is actually a lot shorter than me trying to explain it exactly what's going on. But this is more or less just there we go. Alright. More or less just me writing their story. If you can read this, lay it down before in the comments, but most people will not be able to read this. I can, but I really don't want to. It'd take me days to even see what this means. Long story, really. It does give quite a nice effect, though. And that's more of the effect that I'm trying to do on this. I figured Diaphren looks more or less like a curse. Kinda is. Once you know it, you won't be able to forget it. If you remember your past lives, at least. But you kind of have to remember in order to actually do anything about it. Come on. It's like, and so, here's what happened next. It's gonna be an irritating story nonetheless. But there are reasons why people don't draw these types of things. And I would not want a tattoo like this. The reason why people don't have certain tattoos is because they would go against religion, and, well, in Japan you can't have a tattoo, otherwise you're limited on which baths you can actually enter. It's really just annoying on that front. But let me actually talk about what exactly is going to be going on in this story and all the other stories. So, Chained by Fate, A Tale of Dystopian Worlds, is actually one of the stories I'm working on too. And it is about Koridazin, as his planet is basically falling apart. On the other hand, this story is The Cursed Witch, which it's not talking about Koridazin or anybody like that. It is talking about Blair and her experience. Well, Blair. It roughly does translate to Blair, but... But Blair... She... is a witch actually searching for... just... She's already been alive for quite a long time. Even before some of the other witches. She is a very old witch. And they don't know how old she is. She's pretty old, if I were to say. No, that's not right either. Sorry. My bad. Hit the wrong button. No, that's not right either. Okay. Need to adjust this then. There we go. And I'm only doing this on the main characters just as reference for me. It's not going to be anything else other than reference. Because I'm not drawing this every single time I draw one of these characters, because that sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? A little bit of nonsense, not really, but just mixing some different, some... Sorry, it's late. And there's so many different versions of Different, it's nuts. No, that's wrong. It's that, and then that, and that, and then that. And I got this, that, and this. There we go. No, that's wrong. Like that. There we go. Shh. And yeah. No, it's even worse. There we go. Nope. And I will most likely just do scribbles in the future for all these characters. It's a lot easier to deal with than writing this all out. But I will still follow a similar pattern, just not this intensive. And there we go. Done. That took forever. But I'm not rewriting that. That took literally an hour just to write that. Alright, so let's see. Got that. Got her, which I'm gonna finish her off just so that I can at least start on getting her ready, because she's the main character. And I do need a cover for all of my stuff. So she's gonna be on the cover, whether she likes it or not, which she'd prefer not. And I'm just a little quiet because I've let out a lot of information of what I do, what I say, and most of it goes by the wayside like all things, but I do this more for just something to constantly do. And I would like more views and all that stuff, but I do this for me as more of a therapeutic thing. Upload every day. Well, kind of stop that because it tired me out. And I will go back to normal. It's just I wanted to at least share this, just a little bit of what I'm doing with some of my comics and, well, what I'm planning on doing. Because I'm planning to do 2 different comics at the start. I do have 4 comics and I'm working on that as well. Oops, a little bit too much there. There we go. Let's hold on there. And why I'm not as careful on her. And yes, I will redraw that one. That's easy enough. It's just drawing the other one. Oh, that took so long. I just don't know how to stop sometimes, right? Come on. There we go. Have control my mouse. Every so often, my mouse just doesn't want to give me any control. We're not really in control of our lives, not one bit. In a way, we are joined by both corporation and not corporation. So let me adjust that to there. That's more accurate. Go like that. That. And around the bend. Not like that. See, I just lose control of my mouse every so often. There's that. Now we draw the other half. I feel like even if I had another computer, this would still happen. I would still have issues with the delay. Actually, she needs just a little bit more of this. There we go. And then there we go. That looks better. First, we draw before we put in the colors. I do like redheads quite a bit, but that's more my preference. She looks more like someone who has brown hair. I still don't know what color eyes she's gonna have though. It's gonna be quite interesting to see exactly. What I'm going to do with this, really. Okay. And I'm not drawing their clothes yet because I'm still working on that design too. Everything's a new design, so I hate when things just don't work properly as they're supposed to. There we go. I do use that sometimes because it's a little bit easier to deal with, but this is the problem I get with using the fill tool, is it leaves gaps in my artwork. This happens on every single program with fill. It irritates me every single time I use it. But that's good. Oops. It doesn't have to be as accurate, but I do need control of my mouse to some degree. And this. Nope, that's not right. There we go. No, it's wrong. that one actually has to match up very closely, otherwise it changes the whole meaning of it. Still not going to redraw this. This is after I do the sketch here. This is not going to be redrawn. That's better. That looks more accurate. Ooh. There we go. I did not draw a straight line. And me just fighting the machine. Average view count, 0. Let's but this took a lot less time because, well, yeah, that's right now. That's better. That's not correct. Should be this. No, that's not right either. Nope. Yeah, that's more correct, but I just don't like the placement of that. Alright. And that is her. She's redrawn. She looks just as lovely. Very, very good. Alright, we're giving her more of an auburn brown hair. Her skin will stay the same. So let's bring that up. So, brown hair. We do need to adjust that. Okay. It's going to be hidden behind the brown hair, but I really don't like dealing with that. Okay. I do need to change the size of this, just so that we can work a little bit quicker on that. I'll just sketch it out later. This is the simple way of me just blocking it in for right now, because the hair is going to change a little bit, because I need to adjust it. The nice thing about doing some things digital is, well, this. You don't have to go inside the lines the first time. But it would help. Come on. So it's just slightly smaller. Gotcha. Come on. There. We'll adjust that in a moment. We're just trying to get the basic shapes. Okay, that's good. Now we go back to the skin. Brush. Come on. Okay. Zoom in. Move! There we go. Some things just don't want to work sometimes. These are more of just sketches of what my character is going to look like. Okay, we'll just add that. Let's trim it. Let's actually fix the outline real quick. It's gonna bother me on. Everything's gonna bother me, but. So that's good there. We will need to go black for the moment, just so I can fix some things, like this right here. And this looks good. Just need to adjust these. I do my digital work a little bit different than any painting or other stuff. There we go. Get rid of some of that. Go. Take a little bit of fat there. And here, we need to take that. Get rid of some of that. Don't need all of that to show. Just trim. There we go. Just this right here. Move this out just a bit. Then trim a little bit off. And here, same. There we go. I feel like I did lose my audience, but the thing is, they can watch my streams anytime. I don't mind. But if you do have any comments on any of my streams, anything that I do, really, then don't be afraid to ask. And I do hear a lot of people are leaving YouTube, but the thing is, I'm more of just use YouTube as a platform to show exactly what I'm doing. I'm an artist. An artist who loves comics, who loves doing many different things. When I was younger, I wanted to create my own comic. That has never changed. That has only grown further and further into my reality. But, come on. There we go. But as I get closer and closer to what I want to do, there's always some sort of hurdle that is placed in front of me. And the thing is, I can live with barely making it. To its absurdity, yes. I I've basically survived off of multiple things and many different people who have helped me along the way. I'm grateful for them. And I take every lesson, every person that I know into account. And the thing is, I got the Switch before people were going to say, oh, that's not going to work. But I saw it. It's like, I want it. And also, this is going to be a big hit. Of course, it was a big hit with me too. But the thing is, what happened there is I more predicted off of what people would actually find out later on, how the Switch was innovative. Of course, most of my predictions do come true. I just take everything in around me and theorize all these different things. I do that with my life. I don't put myself on a pedestal. I'm not perfect by any means, but I love myself nonetheless. Hard to deal with myself? A little bit. Still trying to find the right algorithm to live by. But it's more of a long process than anything else. That looks better. Less stray lines and double lines. I'd rather have none of that. Okay, let's fix the hair real quick. Go there. I need to fix the skin too, but something else. There's that. I work on these many different projects more or less to keep myself busy, because I know what I'm doing, and the fact is I want to make it so that I live a life free of worry. Free of saying, I wish I'd done that, or pursued that. The thing is, like anybody else, it's going to take quite a bit of time for me to get back on track to where I wanted to go. I understood that my whole life is not really necessarily planned by others or anybody like that. There is a plan, it's just I can't really tell anybody about it. Because the plan itself will change if people start knowing more about their own future. There are certain things I can tell people about their future, but the thing is, because I used it so much when I was little, it still hasn't degraded any bit. I used it at camp, of trying to understand people's futures and all that stuff. There's certain things that I can tell them, there's certain things I can't tell them. But my life is not a straight line. Me trying to live my life as a straight line? Well, good luck. Good luck on trying to make me conform into normacy. Because stuff like that just bores me, and I understand it's one of the things that is not for me. That's not how I wish to live my life. I also hate hearing that people are depressed because I couldn't do this, or I didn't have enough money for that. No one has enough money for anything. You just kind of have to take it step by step. Because the journey is long. And when I mean long, I mean extremely. More so than you could ever known before. Whoops. We'll undo eraser. There. Just need to erase that. There we go. And this. No. If I just do this. That looks better. Okay. I'll have to deal with that in a second. Oops. Yeah. Back to that. No, let me tell you a story about my journey into crypto. When I was working at a winery, yes, I worked at a winery when I was in college. Of course, helped that my mom worked at it for a little while. Then she moved and she couldn't work at the winery. Well, she quit for another reason, but I'd rather not say, because, workplaces, they tend to have a lot of drama, more so than what they need sometimes. But every time I worked at that job, I kept on getting faster and faster. Most of it was more data entry and all that, but the thing is, I liked it. It was easy enough, but it's also not the job I was looking for either. So, there's that. And when I got my house, too, I came in at the right moment where the ice storm just ended in March. Well, yeah, during March. The ice storm ended. I got my house. For the asking price I was asking for. Not very many people can say that they got their house for what they asked for. Because most of the time, it ends up higher than what they're asking. And, well, those things don't always go to plan. It is one of the things that falls apart almost immediately. And, well, it is very noticeable, too, when things fall apart. That makes a really good story, but we're trying to live our lives, and sometimes the worst stories are not really the best stories to follow. Alright, we're almost there. Yeah, I know for most of this I've been sort of cleaning up every ounce of this, but it's coming together. Yeah, I've just looked at life in a different way than most people, and will always look at it in that way. I know people are trying to help me, and I do appreciate it. It's just that help that sometimes people provide me is not enough. And when I ask for their help, they're busy with something else. Right now, I'm not surrounded by friends. I do have one friend. Of course, like all friends, they change. Well, he didn't really change, more of people's perception of him changed, so he erased himself from social media. Just because people didn't agree with his opinions of who he liked. Same thing happened with his sister, but I already knew. I wasn't really surprised. He sort of put off that feel in the first place. He doesn't like women as a partner. He's fine with women, he just doesn't like them as a partner. I could already see that in him. And I could already see that he was going towards that direction. Of course, I did not mention it to him or anything like that. There are reasons why I can't mention things. And reasons why I can't... Well, first thing is, when it happens, I understand it as something that was going to happen. And his sister doesn't like, well, she doesn't like guys in that same way as a partner, so. And no, their parenting did not fail. It's just when raising kids, sometimes you get the lottery. And people don't turn out the way they're expected to. But yeah. No, he was always sort of one to like the same sex. Dropper. There we go. But yeah, I don't mind people like that. To me, if I really could choose, well, I can choose, but the thing is, it would not help me in the long run. Because I do want children. But the thing is, I know when I'm ready to actually search for someone. Now it's still not the time, but yeah. It's just one of those things where some people do know exactly what their life has planned and they follow it. Me? I do know, but I know it more towards the degree that people don't quite understand or realize, because all my schedules and everything's in diaphragm. Let me actually I did show you exactly my chart, but yeah. Right here. Closer to quick. Good. No, my chart is very complicated in its own sense because it's a 6-month chart. Yes, it is a 6-month chart that relays everything that will happen. And I'm not exaggerating because it goes off of that chart, but I use every bit of who I am and what I do with it. So no, it's just one of those things that, yeah, it's a chart about my future. Yeah, that's kind of hard to follow for most people, because they don't quite understand their future. I know most of it. There's still certain things that I can't predict, like certain events or actions that will happen. It's just the amount of time that it will occur and all that stuff. I can calculate that. What I have a hard time calculating is more of the understanding of what will happen when certain things occur. So there we go. The stone is a bright pink. then we go towards a reddish hue for the for the clip more so. There's that. Get that out. There we go. And then we go to the highlight of just white. White works really well for a highlight. And then what we want to do with this stone, we increase the size to bigger than what we're doing, and the hardness to 0, opacity, and we just adjust that so that the stone looks like it is glowing, more so or less. And then we take it around the edges. Do the same. And there we have it glowing to some extent. I'm gonna take that out, and then behind it we add the glowing of the stone because it'll give a better effect that way. Come on. There we go. Let's make that larger because the better we don't want it to be too big because then it's a little too obvious. There we go. And we have a glowing stone. Glowstone background.